Now you might be wondering, Parker, what are you doing? Or, Parker, what's the Cambrian explosion? So the Cambrian explosion, it's pretty neat. And, you know, sometimes kind of boring, though, so, like, maybe just appreciate me, please. But anyway, it's pretty neat, dude. So I'm actually going to give you guys, like, an actual lesson thing going on here. So put on your thinking caps, little boys and girls. So the Cambrian explosion is actually just a big old burst of biodiversity. Go figure. So everything really just kind of evolves to have, like, these skeletons or hard body stuff. You know, you may not be familiar with skeletons. You may or may not have one in your body right now. It's actually kind of a short period of time in biology time. Hence the name. Explosion. Oh, yeah, I also kind of forgot to mention this is all taking place underwater. You'll see why that's important later. Very important. Now you might be thinking in your head all like, that was before the Cambrian explosion, Parker. Oh, what was it? I need to know. Now let me answer that, you impatient swine. I love you. So before this magnificent thing, everything kind of looks like jelly stuff, like jellyfish. You're seeing an anemone, so they're really not actually hard-bodied at all. They're just kind of like jello life. It's fun to look at, but, like, this is cooler, so shut up and look at my stuff. Debated how this, all started. I mean, yeah, I know it's science, so of course it's debated about. But the most prevalent theories include bigger sizes needed a harder structure, and others think it might have been a sharp increase in oxygen, allowing predators to come about. If you ask this nerdy, stuttering middle schooler, I'd say they might both coincide. I mean, think about it. Anyway, at the beginning of the Cambrian explosion, 545 million years ago, which is a long time if you didn't notice, stuff like this happened. And it's more or less why I'm happy that I live 545 million years in the future. Mother Nature was very proud of this, because she went from these floppy messes of jelly, and now we have these floppy messes of shell and rudimentary organs and such. Very, very proud of her creations, So, you've probably been hearing me telling you about all these technical aspects, and probably just white noise at this point. Without further ado, the stuff you actually care about, at least kind of my victims. Look at these. They're all dead. So, we don't really know very much about these little itty-bitty bits of horror. So much so that we actually constructed them upside down the first time we put them together, because the 70s scientists are apparently pretty dumb. So these things actually grew up to like 5 to 30 millimeters long, so I'm not even exaggerating when I'm saying itty-bitty. So, these things would have been eaten by everything. Now for the most famous of the DK crew, the trilobite. Yeah, you might have heard of it before. Crab tank bug at the bottom of the ocean. Pretty neat. Now, there were too many species to count, so I'll just be focusing on the olenoids. Fun facts. Now, these guys didn't swim. They just sat in their really hard shells for the time, and just moved around on their tiny, stubby arms. These guys grew up to about 10 centimeters long, and I'm a bit miffed about that, too. Thought they'd be bigger. But, just to make you happy, here's the biggest one ever found. 27 inches! Here it is, boys! Now, because these guys had such hard shells, they really only have, like, a couple predators, and the one we're gonna meet today is called the Animalcaris, and you'll meet them soon. You'll know what I mean soon. So, the trilobites actually had some spines on their face, or, like, kind of, they look like antenna almost. You'll see them here. They use these to kill stuff and then use its mouth to eat them. They, like, bring them in and eat them. Now, next up's actually the claw-faced McGee. Its real name's Opabenia, but I'm gonna call it whatever I want because it's my favorite. This thing's actually tiny, but nonetheless pretty dang nearino. Thing's actually has, like, 5 mushroom-looking eyes, and I love it. I want it as a pet. Now, onto the facts. So you see that stick thing coming out of its face? It's actually called a proboscis. Doesn't actually eat from that. It has a pineapple-shaped mouth hole at the bottom of its front end. It uses these things called lobes on the side of its body to swim. See those little circle-looking things on the side? Yeah, those help them swim. Now, it probably ate worms because, look at its face that it just digs into the skin like a freaking maniac. It grows up to like 4 to 7 centimeters long, which makes it even cuter now. Want one of these as a pet so bad, but they're all dead, so I can't. Now we have the generic one. Morella splendens. Could even spell it right. It looks cool, but, like, 15,000s have been found in like one area, so like they're less cool. It's a swimmer and it ate small animals on the ocean floor because, hovering kind of. This thing has a head shield for some reason and spines all over its body. So I call this one the special sea porcupine. Get it? They grew to a maximum of 3/4 of an inch, and the smallest one was actually only around 1/10 of an inch, which is really tiny if you don't know that. And for the last one, you might want to mentally prepare yourself for this one, the aforementioned Anomalocaris. So it's disgusting, and I like to call it the... Right now for the fun facts, this thing was one of the first apex predators. It grew up to 6 feet, which is terrifying. And that's about 1.8 meters for all you metric users. Its name literally means abnormal shrimp, which I find really funny because it ate shrimp-like creatures. Because, irony, it may have eaten our Opabinia friends and those trilobites, which I might remind you didn't have very many predators. Thank the for stopping this thing before it got even worse. Like, look at this mouth. This is a fossil, but it's still terrifying.